We'll just pull this down. Start there. Here we go. Sorry. Kind of bright. Anyway, hi. I'm Lise Colucci, and we're going to just jump right in with what is projecting and why is it toxic when a narcissist is projecting onto you in situations. So, projecting, when someone says they're projecting on you or someone is, that's projection. What they're saying is that it's a process that people use to attribute to others what's actually inside themselves. It's a misrepresentation with a narcissist of what's on the inside of them as being the fault or coming from the outside or someone else. So it is with a narcissistic person, projection is it's a defense mechanism that becomes toxic. An example is they may feel self-critical, so they criticize you. They may notice something about themselves that they are not thrilled with, but you know how they have to kind of be thrilled with themselves all the time, or they have to at least boast themselves up all the time. So instead of taking accountability and making change, they project, they attribute, they claim that that bad thing, that thing that they don't like, is actually coming from you. It's your fault. So, it gives you a glimpse of the narcissist's self underneath the ego. Excuse me, I am losing my voice today because of the pollen. So I'm going to try here. It gives you a glimpse as well as a glimpse of the ego itself. It lets you see when someone is projecting onto you, and it's very obvious that they are, it lets you see underneath the lie they're telling you, which is their ego self, right? The self that they're presenting out there that is boastful or better than everyone or whatever, however the narcissistic person or toxic person in your life presents themselves. When they're projecting onto you, you're actually seeing underneath it at what they actually believe about themselves. Now, sometimes it's used as a manipulation tool to make you throw you off the track, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Remind me if I forget on that one. Okay. So what does it look like, and what are some of the telltale signs of projecting? And I have a list here, so I'm just gonna skim down here and read. They'll accuse you of something that they are actually doing. Totally typical, totally common projecting from a narcissist or toxic person of any kind is they're really lying, but they're not really lying. Does that make sense? They're accusing you of something that they're the ones that are doing it, and they're covering up by saying you do it. For example, you were out late. Who were you with? Who was he or she that you were with? Accusing you of flirting, accusing you of cheating, accusing you of all kinds of things that they're the ones who actually do. Now, that doesn't mean that every time someone accuses someone of that, that's what they're doing, but it's a pattern. Narcissists will do this in a pattern, not just, it's not a one off thing. Okay. So they'll call you things that you aren't and claim you are guilty of the things that you didn't do, right? That you've never done. They'll call you rude when you're actually a very polite person who does everything they can to accommodate and consider other people. Can you be rude? Sure, once in a while, but not the way they're saying it. They're not saying, "Oh my gosh, that was rude." No, they're saying you are rude, when actually it's them who are the ones who are continually and constantly rude to other people. Um, uh, they, yeah, okay. So another thing is they will mimic and or exaggerate of their own achievements and compete with you. So their exaggeration of their achievements when you've achieved something is like they are trying to take your glory and make it their own and then project outward. How do I explain this one? You might be artistic, okay, or creative of some sort. So let's say you're a painter and you paint a beautiful picture. They will spend their whole time trying to get you not to paint, trying to destroy you while you're doing your creative endeavors. They will never give you compliments within the home. They'll tear you down, right? But out in public, they'll say, look at how look at how amazing this painting is, blah, 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 blah. And basically pulling, I was there to support you through this. It's a lie that's projecting an image that they want other people to believe they are out into the world that is not actually true. And in the, and yeah, so they're taking it or mimicking or copying your achievements, making them their own. Or, I was the inspiration for this painting or whatever they say, they have their ways. You know what I'm talking about if you've had one of those. Okay, they blame you for things that they plan on doing or that they know that they will do or they might do or they could do preemptively before you can catch them. They are setting the narrative. They're controlling the narrative through projecting. They are saying whatever. You're, blaming you for things like, well, you're just going to leave blah 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 when they're the ones who actually are thinking or know that they were going to be the ones to walk away or that's just I don't have a good example for that one, but you know what I mean when they're like saying you did something before they actually did it. I have some good ones. I'm a little not clicking. I should have wrote it down. Like in other words, they're controlling the narrative to make you believe something. It's gaslighting. They are saying things like they might do a narcissistic mother or father might do to a child. They might say, well, you know, football is you don't like basically making the child believe they don't like something. For instance, one person told me that they really loved a certain creative thing. And let's just say painting again, okay? Wasn't painting. And so they painted a lot. And then the child wanted to go to a camp that was for painting. And they said, well, it's just going to be sitting there the whole time, blah, 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 blah. You don't really want to do that because, your painting's basically talking them out of the thing preemptively so that then later 20 years later, they said, "What do you mean you love to paint? You've never liked to paint. Remember, you didn't even want to go to camp." You see? So they preemptively set situations up to look negative so that you're the one who says, "Okay, fine, no," or "I don't like it," or whatever. And then later on use that information. So it's a form of projecting their will onto you so that you're gaslit and believing things about yourself that aren't even true. Um, Okay. Victim playing, that is a form of projecting. When you're the one they darn well know is being hurt and they're acting like the victim. It is a form of stealing and mimicking your experience and projecting it back out. It's a blaming you before you can blame them. Okay. Yeah. They might have had their feelings hurt when you said stop being a jerk because they were being a jerk for, 20 hours. So, that's not and then they project onto you, "You're always hurting me, blah, blah, blah," but when it's actually not the case. So, okay, another thing, like, they may say things, that change the script and create a new narrative. "You're a crazy liar. I never did that. Um, everybody thinks this. Everybody knows blah, blah, blah." It's projection is a form of gaslighting. Um, it crosses over and there's so many different kinds of gaslighting, but it's one specific form. And it's basically trying to twist their words by making you believe that you're the problem and that there's not, but it's actually the thing that they do, right? They're the one who acts crazy. They're the one that is too sensitive. If anyone's too sensitive, it's a narcissist. They're fragile, fragile egos that can't handle any critique so that they can help themselves behave like better people. Can't do it. All right. They'll say things like, "You're the narcissist." That's a common projection. You're a narcissist. You're toxic, especially if it's coming from a female narcissist. A lot of female narcissists like to learn the lingo. They like to watch us. They like to, unfortunately, glean information about what they believe is other people. A lot of people with toxic borderline personality disorder will also do this, where they're just blaming everyone else. They're learning the information places like here or anywhere. I mean, the information's out there, right? And it needs to be out there. But then they will use half truths to blame back and point the finger back at you when you haven't really done anything. Twist an argument so much that it's confusing and you don't even know what's coming out your mouth, and then say, "See how you're gaslighting me? You're a narcissist." And you're like, "Wait, I don't even know what I'm saying right now. I'm so confused. What are we fighting about?" Right? Okay. So, everything is always about you pointing the finger. It's never about, wow, we're not getting along here, are we? What's going on? It's you this, you that, you this, and calling you selfish, things like that. Okay. So why do this? Why do they need to do this? Why is this defense mechanism even there? The narcissist cannot handle criticism. The narcissistic person, and people with borderline personality disorder that are, um, everything's a spectrum. A lot of people who have been in relationships with narcissistic people also may have borderline personality. Some people have CPTSD misdiagnosed. Some people have both. It can happen. Um, there is a spectrum of toxic when it comes to that personality disorder. So I'm talking when I say that about the people who are legitimately toxic in relationships. It can go so far as to be worse than narcissistic abuse. It really can. So if it is something that you're watching and you're like, but wait a minute, I have that, understand that it is on a spectrum and that it is something that is a big struggle in people's lives. And I understand when people have that diagnosis, or actually, do have that personality disorder, and they're working really hard to help themselves be better in relationships, be better with themselves. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about toxic people here. And I just had to throw that in there because I try not to bring that up too much, but you see projection a lot with the BPD diagnosis as well as the narcissism. So I'm kind of got it added in a little bit. Okay. So why do they do it? They are deflecting the criticism. They're deflecting what they perceive as criticism. They're deflecting what they perceive as an attack before the attack happens. Even though you're not actually trying to attack them, you're just like, hey, you think you could speak a little nicer to me? Or hey, that kind of hurt my feelings, the way that joke hurt my feelings. And no, no, no. They have to deflect it and project. They're avoiding responsibility for their actions and their behaviors. They are asserting dominance and control. They're saying, no, it's going to be my way. No, you're going to think the way I tell you to think. Because there are many narcissistic people, many, 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 who are absolute control is their aim and their goal. They want you to, I was told, worship and adore and um, be completely submissive to my will. So, and those the psychopathic kind will actually admit it, but the narcissist who's that way won't. They'll project instead or act passive aggressive. They're doing it to win because they have to win. They are doing it to feel greater than you, to feel better than you, to feel in control of their own pain through hurting you. When they have something that hurts them from their past, when they are people who have had toxic things happen to them in their life, they will project their pain onto you by turning you into the thing that hurt them. So if they had a toxic mother, for example, and their mother was always punishing and criticizing, let's just as an example, and she truly is, okay? And then you've got this narcissistic person, they're going to try to turn you into their mother so that they can control mommy's pain that she gave them and hurt you, which makes them feel elevated and higher than the thing that hurt them. Instead of healing, they dominate. Okay? It doesn't work. I wish they could learn. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, but it it only hurts other people in the process. They do it to punish. Okay? They do it because they lack empathy and they don't want to be responsible for anything. They want other people to take the blame because it's a pain to have to be accountable. All right? Why should they if they don't care? All right, so those are some of the reasons, and that is a bit about projecting. I'm going to say hello to you guys and see what's going on, and if you guys have anything you want to add, otherwise we're going to end here for our very short afternoon talk. Let's see. Hi, you guys, Christine and UNA and Pocket Full of Sunshine and Mystique. Excuse me, and Christine. I said Christine. Um, Anytime I achieve anything, my mother says, "Well, I gave birth to her." Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. That's like the ultimate, right? Like, you can't even you can't do anything. You're trapped with that one. Right. Uh-huh. Well, Christine, you are a whole and individual person who has their own feelings, thoughts, beliefs, achievements, failures, successes, all of that wrapped up into a wonderful human being who is completely individuated from a toxic mother. Okay? There you go. That's you're not her puppet and you're not an extension of her. Ugh. Yes, pocket full of sunshine saying, yes, he accused me of being on a dating site and cheating when he, in reality, was the one doing it. That is the most common projection I hear in like couples issues that I hear with narcissism. That is a super common one. Oh, yeah, the cheating thing. When I caught him, he said he was only there to see if I was. Oh my gosh. Gaslighting. Yep. Oh my gosh. UNA says my music was taken away, but one time I put my foot down. My male parent took my intellectual property as his. He never did that again, took everything else, just not that. Right. That's awful. Mm. You needed this topic, highly sensitive Wookie. Anything you want to add or any questions you have? Oh, you're dealing with a person I thought was a friend projecting and punishing me for not thinking exactly like they do. The other thing with projection, we have to remember that toxic people enmesh. They don't enmesh, they absorb you so that you enmesh with them. They they need people to orbit around them. You're not allowed to be your own person. So when you're with someone toxic, that kind of projecting you're talking about is simply that. It's them not allowing you to be highly sensitive Wookiee, whatever your real name is, right? You are an extension of their thoughts. We think the same, therefore we are friends. Yeah. Yolanda's journey. My ex spent time in jail because he decided to go too far with one of his flings. Uh-oh. Now he's out and wants me to help pay the damages. No. That's where the boundaries come in. No. Block, 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 block. No. Yeah. I have since come to see that he's not paying rent in my head, so it's time to leave. That's right. Good. Good, good, good. And Yolanda, if you need support or anything with that, check out the group coaching or the coaching if you need it because you're right on the brink of freedom when you've come to that conclusion, right? And if you need it and you need someone, we're out there, okay? Um, or here, obviously. But I'm just saying, just so you know it's there. You've had music, highly sensitive Wookie says, oh my gosh, I've had music taken away as punishment. I'm so sorry you had that happen to you. Oh, yeah. One friend asked, as highly sensitive Wookie, asked me to hold off providing info because they wanted to be the one to tell the projector, um, which I honored. Okay, about an accident. Okay, yeah. Um, what I thought was a friend took me a while to see it. Took me about 8 months to totally block. You weren't there. Yes, it does. It takes a while to see it. It's a process, you guys. It's not often just a quick and easy rip the band-aid off kind of thing. It's a process of understanding, going through the trauma bonded feelings, going through the confusion, going through the grief, going through all of that as you journey toward getting away from these toxic people. So that's totally understandable. Um, let's see. Anything else, you guys, that you want to talk about before I head out? I just wanted to get in here quick today because I haven't been here in a while. That's my bad. Any topics you want also for following days, let me know. Put them in the main comments, not in the chat, because I will lose them in chat. So otherwise, I'm going to take off. I will see you guys next time. Oh, Yolanda, thank you so much. Yolanda just sent a super chat, and that was very nice. And yeah, you guys, anything you need, you let me know. Topics, get as specific as you want because it helps me gear the talk toward opening up that specific thing, kind of opening the box and unpacking the littler, more minute, tiny issues that go on, not just the big picture ones. Okay, so just let me know, and I will try to be back sooner than later. I'll try to be back. My schedule got like end of the year crazy with kids, so I'll try to be back tomorrow or Friday, and then a lot more next week. Back on track. I'm going to do a whole bunch of journaling, making notes, and getting things going. Okay. Narcissistic friendships. Heck yeah. Can you, if you want, highly sensitive Wookie, in the comment section or email me or message me somewhere if you know where I am. I don't know your name, so I don't know how to find you. Specifics. Like, what questions do you have about it? What do you notice about it? What have you experienced? Even just bullet points, that'll help. Okay, I'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.